came to deal with this addiction in me. Lord, I wanna change. I can't stay the same with the sins that in my veins. It's trying its best just to kill me.
Today's program is a recording of a previously aired live program. Some dates, times, and events mentioned may have already passed. Thank you for listening to Awesome Radio 106.9 WBISLP. This is a recording.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the U-Turn Show once again. It is Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Here at Awesome Radio. Make sure if you haven't already, visit www.wbisawesomeradio.org and download our apps either on the Google Play, the Apple Store, or Alexa. Also, make sure you call in to 252-756-2008 if you want to interact with the show. Today is a very special show today. I have a very strong and determined guest, my sister Keandra McDowell Ray. How you doing today?
Hello, how you doing? Thank you for inviting me.
All right, thank you for tuning in. And a lot of people don't know, I actually just was informed about this situation, but Kendra McDowell Ray is the sister of our brother Jeremy McDowell, and Mr. Jeremy McDowell was in for all intents and purposes executed by the Wilmington, Delaware police department, and this situation happened on September of 2015, correct?
Yes.
All right. And once again, it got a lot of attention, locally and for a while, nationally, and even, some global attention, but it was pretty much swept under the rug along with a lot of other things. So we're going to, if I can pull this up real quick so our audience will be able to see this video, and just bear with me. Okay, so just to give y'all a taste of what happened, hope y'all can see the video.
Working on our program.
Folks just don't understand. Try to do all I can to deal with this addiction in me. Lord, I wanna change. I can't stay the same with the sins that in my veins. It's trying its best just to kill me.
Hello? Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. I thank you guys for being patient, man. Once again, this is an episode of the U-Turn Show. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm sorry about those difficulties. Last week we had a recorded show on, and the recording was still on. So I thank you guys for being patient with the show. Once again, this is the U-Turn Show here on Awesome Radio 106.9 FM here in Greenville. Make sure you visit our website, www.wbisawesomeradio.org, and download all of our apps on the Google Play Store, the Apple Store, and Alexa. Also, this is an interactive show, so be sure to call in. Today, I have a very special guest. He's like a brother to me. I grew up under a lot of people his age, and he's very, very, very instrumental to me. I was a good friend with his younger brother. But I want to say welcome to Mr. Maurice Thomas. How you doing?
How you doing? How you doing, sir? I want to thank you for inviting me to your platform and let me tell my story and my testimony.
All
Hope
right.
everybody enjoy. Can you hear me fine?
Yes, we can hear you. And those listening on our Facebook and our radio audience, please just give us a heads up if you can hear our caller. Due to once again technical difficulties, I was not able to get his picture up, but we do have his voice. So please let me know if you guys can hear him distinctly, and I would greatly appreciate it. But we're gonna get right into it, man. Trap. Maurice has an interesting story, but I'm gonna just go ahead and get into the nickname. Everybody calls him Trap. Now today, Trap means being in the streets, making money. Thank you guys so much for your response. So Trap, where did you first get your nickname from?
Man, coming up as a young boy, I used to my mother and my grandmother originally from Virginia, and I used to go there every summer with my grandmother, and I would stay. I have a cousin my age, and I used to stay with him during the summer, and he lived in Norfolk in between two girls.
Okay.
And you know me coming up, you know me, my little swag or whatever. I would try to talk to both of them, you know what I mean? At one time, and he just one night he said, "Man, you're not gonna keep coming to Virginia traveling these girls on." So he just started calling me Trap, and I came home with it.
Okay. So Trap became the name. Now I don't know if you know, I used to live in Norfolk as well. So at what point in time did you live in Norfolk?
I never lived in Norfolk. I would just go through the summer. Every summer when I got of age with my grandmother, she would go visit her sister, and I would go with her during the summer.
Okay.
I think I can remember like 9th and 10th grade. That's when I really started remembering everything.
All right. Okay.
And like I said, we the same age, so every time I would go stay with him while she visit her sister, and we'll crab fish and everything. We stay right there by the waterfront, the water drop or whatever.
Okay.
They call it.
The water side. Yeah.
The water side.
Yeah. Okay. And I always start off with my guests about the childhood. Now I was just talking to my mother, and she asked me who I was going to have on the show, and I told her. She was like, "Yeah, I know Maurice. Matter of fact, I was friends with his mother because they used to live in Seymour Johnson right off Rosewood." She said, "I remember her and that little boy."
Right on Rosewood, right at the corner house.
Now,
I remember that.
I never knew that, but she remembered you. So tell me, like, how was your life coming up, man? You know, what do you?
That was way before Green Neck. They had 2-story white apartments across from the original Seymour, and I really don't remember much, but I remember like I had twin beds. I got my head stuck in the headboard one time. My mom baby brother, which is my uncle Nook, Kawane, and them guys.
Okay.
He used to take me around. He wanted to taught me how to shoot pool and all that. So basically, I'm 10 or 15 years younger than him. So he would take me around at a young age, like in my adolescent age, anywhere from I want to say 6 or 7, 8. He would take me around with him, to the block and just different places to shoot pool, and he used to shoot pool for money or whatever.
Okay.
When I wasn't doing that, I was with my grandfather helping him paint. And as I got older, I think I was 9 when my mom actually married my stepfather with Miles. Everybody know Miles Holloway.
Yeah, shout out to Miles Holloway and Miss Frida.
They call him. Yeah, so he been my dad, my father figure ever since I was 9. That's who I call Dad.
Okay, and because that's when I think that I got acquainted with y'all. When you guys lived on Porter Street and I lived on Taylor Street. So
yeah. They had a house built on Porter.
All right, so if for all intents and purposes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we came from West Haven, and we lived on Sloper Street for like 1 year.
Yeah. Okay, and so during that time, like I guess the early to mid 80s and the early 90s, I guess that's the time when you was coming up. You already mentioned that your uncle used to take you out to the pool halls, but then you also, had a granddad who used to take you out to paint. So you got a little both sides. You got the little working man, and then you had the aspect of the hustler. Now, as I did, and as many as our peers did, eventually you ventured out into the street life. What were some of the factors that led you to that route?
Okay, well, I'm gonna break it down to you before I hit the streets.
Okay.
In high school, like I said, my mom married my dad when I was 9. Coming up, I was seeing some things that back then you were seeing and not heard. So
Okay.
you always paid attention what was going around, what was going on. Like I said, we lived in West Haven for a little while until the office said we got to move. So, my dad was saving fees at that time and making too much money. So I guess they told us we had to move. We moved on Flipper Street. I'm still seeing some things that I really ain't know what was going on until I got of age. So in high school, my grandfather he was always an entrepreneur, whether it be painting on his side or he worked for Oberry as a painter. So he's a painting on the side. He had a restaurant, Smitty's Grill out there by Seymour, Green Acres. He had and the pool hall out there at the same time. So
Okay.
I was always able to make some money. Plus I was getting allowance. So I was spoiled child coming up.
Okay.
My mom made sure I had everything. My dad made sure I had everything I wanted. As you know, being right up there with my young, you already know.
Yeah.
So I was seeing what I had to see. You know what I mean? So I think when I really when I started that keyboard, you know what I mean, I was probably about in 11th grade.
Okay.
And I knew that you could make some money with a joint.
All right.
And I was selling a little weed here and there. But I really ain't ventured off and come to the city and started hanging in the streets there after I graduated. I was always making some money.
Okay. So go ahead. And so at one point, I guess you got kind of deep into that, that life as many of us did.
Okay, you can. I mean, basically, I wasn't really trying to get in that route. I wanted to, I wanted to follow my uncle's footsteps for having a job, working hard, and being honest and all that. But the beer age, I don't know if you remember when the beer age went up to you had to be 21. And I think that was like in 1980. I want to say 1980. I graduated 85, 86. Excuse me for a minute. I love you, man. Be good. Take it to your mama. All right. 1986, the beer age went up. You had to be 21 to sell beer or buy beer. And at that time, I was working at the pool hall. So I was like, man, it ain't really nothing I can do. Mind you, at trying to be in the streets and hang with my friends and whatever, I caught a charge at the age of 17, 16, and 17. I caught a weed charge at 16. Then I caught a gun charge at 17.
Okay.
So after that, it was kind of hard for me to get a legit job because they were going to get me a job at Oberry, but with that gun charge, that killed all that. So I had two uncles with us, John and Howard Spencer, living in D.C. So I went and lived with them until I was able to find me an apartment. As a matter of fact, when I first moved up there, I was living in Cook Hall with my Uncle John at Howard University.
Okay.
I stayed with him for like 6 months, at Cook Hall until I got a job and was able to find me an apartment. And that's when I really saw some things that led me to who Trap was.
Okay. And then so you got involved in the streets up in DC.
DC, yes, sir.
All
Northeast
right.
and Southeast.
Northeast and South.
Yes,
and I know during that time that was pretty dangerous city to live in. I think they used to call it the murder capital of the world back then.
The capital of the world. And at that time, I think I was like 18. I wasn't in my 20s yet. I was 18. Matter of fact, Tom was already up there. And by the time I was 19, Tom, we was roommates.
Okay. So,
And
so did you know Tom
he stayed,
from the Borough?
yeah, he stayed on Franklin Street. We growed up together.
Yeah. Rest in peace,
Played
Tom
together. We
too.
grew together. We rest in peace to my brother, to my stick man. We played together. We rode the bus together. We Miss Teen let us use the car to go to. If we didn't ride Miss Teen car, we rode my dad Benz to school. Rode my dad Benz to school. So that was my stick man. That was my man coming up. So we was real close. We was like
Okay.
brothers.
And at one point in time, I guess, because like I said, I didn't know you till you came home. At one point in time, you caught a charge and you had to do some time.
Yeah, that's. I wanted to say a lot of people like, what's your lowest point
Uh-huh.
in life? When they ask me that, I used to. That's what I used to say when I went to prison. That was my lowest point. But that wasn't even my lowest point, man. That was my second. That was my second time doing some time. The first time was like a ski bid. It was like I ain't do like 111 days. I caught a cocaine charge when I first came home.
So when you first
Well,
came home to
probably,
Goldsboro?
probably about a year after I came. When I came back to Goldsboro in '88.
In
And that's
88.
when they
So
had
how
the
old were you then?
21, I think, 21 or
Okay.
22. And, I mean, Goldsboro was full fledged with the cocaine thing.
Okay.
And it was, like I said, it was still kind of hard for me to get a job. I was getting little. I went to when I first came home, I went to work at Dewey Brothers.
Okay. Everybody know Dewey Brothers.
Dewey Brothers, man, and I was there with my mom. I came home and I was so dirty and full of smut and cough cramps. And my mom was like, "Nah, you ain't going back there." I always been a mama's boy. So she was like, "No, you ain't going back there. You need to find you another job."
Okay.
So I started working at one of my dad's friends got me a job at Farm Fresh.
Okay.
It's right
That
there
must
with
have been
Walmart at right now.
yeah, that must have been when it first came.
Farm Fresh.
Yeah. I remember when it first
Well,
came. That was
anyway,
like the
where
biggest thing.
Walmart is, that's what Farm Fresh is.
Yeah, I remember that was like the biggest thing. That was the best thing since sliced bread when it came to Goldsboro.
So I worked in frozen food and dairy. And my first paycheck from there was a little like sudden, and the working 50 was going around, and I bought one and flipped my money so fast. I was like, man, good Lord. I don't think I'm going back to Wall. I don't think I'm going back to Farm.
So the fast money.
On the fast money, and I got with an old girlfriend of mine, and we started living together and had a child, and I met this guy in Philadelphia named Mill Will. Shout out to Muscle.
Okay.
Everybody, if don't know who Mill Will
I heard
is,
that
he
name
Charles,
before.
So he needed somebody. That's why I was getting the little worker 50 from, and he needed somebody to take him to Philly. And I had a driving license. He had a car. He told me he'll give me $500 to take him, and I started taking him. And I became his right hand man, his lieutenant or whatever. He had a little crew, you know what I mean, and I didn't look back.
Okay, and so we know all good things come to a stop, right? Especially in the streets. Yeah. So how long did that last, and how did that run in?
He went back home. People, when you say, well, he left, I don't know what happened, but he left the crew on death.
Okay.
When I say on death, he left without notification, didn't tell nobody, and we sitting up here like 10 deep, good friends, didn't know which way we were gonna turn.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew a lot of people, you know. I mean, I had the street cred and the ability, and you know what I mean. Some Jamaican was coming down, and I didn't look back. I was introduced to this guy, the Kempton, named Tony,
mm-hmm.
and through Hawkville, because I was gonna rob him.
Yeah.
So he would come from Kempton on the cab to Green Acres, and the the bill would be like $60, $70. I was like, yo, this dude got to have some money.
Okay.
So I got a hold of John, and we was gonna stick him up. And Hawkville, that was Hawkville man, and he was like, no, don't do that. That he can be a plug if you want him to.
Exactly.
So I let him live. I had crossed a couple of people from their money, the Jamaicans, and they caught me at the Gemini one night. Pulled me by the dumpster in the back. Jamaican Troy and Jamaican Bobby. Put the gun in my mouth and everything. I guess they were gonna leave me back there. But I owed them like $15,000.
Okay.
You know, Hawkville had passed by and saw it, but he kept going. But God, I don't know. He came back, and he had the same dude named Tony.
Okay, so Hawkville kind of saved you in that instance.
He saved. You know, Hawkville raised me from a puppy, so he saved me. You know what I mean? The guy asked me. He said, "Man, I've been watching you out the Green Acres, and I like your style." And, you know, he asked me why I live at. You know what I mean? I told him tell Bill to bring him to my house tomorrow. And the next day he dropped a brick off on me.
Okay. So people don't know what a brick is. That's 36 ounces, a kilogram of cocaine, which is it's worth a lot of money. So
yeah.
So at that point you really got deep.
That's when I got deep. And then he got jammed up. He got knocked off with the feds, and I was on the money, and his connect came to the house. Me not knowing him, you know what I mean, I pulled the check on him, told him to get away from around my house before I killed him.
Okay.
He went and got Tony's wife, and she broke it down to who he was and all that.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm gonna give you the money, and whatever happened. You know what I mean? So I gave the money to Tony's wife, and man, an hour later he came back with two.
So really all they wanted was the money. They said, okay, well, he can move it, and we gonna keep him supplied.
Yeah, basically, you know how they do. They won't never let you get out of the grip, either.
Okay, so how did you eventually, get out the grip? So I know, like you said, like one time, you caught a serious charge, and you had to go lay down for a minute.
That's when I got out of the grip.
Okay, and if I know, go ahead.
I said that's what set me free. And I had to lay down. I hate what happened for me to lay down, but that's what happened.
Okay, and we're gonna get into that. Not too deep. Whatever you want to give, the audience about that situation. But I do want to talk about, the time that you had to spend, and how that was, and kind of what you learned, and also on the other side of the break when we come back, we're gonna talk about what you did when you got out, and how you transformed. How hard was it to transform? In the trucking, being a father. I know you got children. I think you said you was at your son's football game now. So you got children, grandchildren. So we're going to get more deep into this story after we come back from our station break. I want to thank all of our audience listeners. Also the people on Facebook. Once again, you are listening to the U-Turn Show here on Awesome Radio, 106.9 FM. We're going to be right back after the break.
The umpire in a ball game decides if a player is in or out. Hey, this is Debbie Griffith with Everyday Matters. Colossians 3:15 talks about the umpire of peace in our hearts. Let the peace of God act as an umpire in your heart, deciding and settling all questions that come into your mind. Peace is to be the umpire that decides if something in our life should be in or out. Do you think I should take this additional job? Was the question asked to me by a young mom because the family was struggling financially. But the long hours would definitely affect her being able to mother. My first thought was, yeah, she could manage it. I prayed for the umpire of peace to direct this young woman. Guess what? Rhonda refused the job because she did not have peace about working outside the home. And help came in a way she never expected. Seek God's peace every day. For more encouragement in Everyday Matters, visit DebbieGriffith.com.
Are you a business or organization and you're looking for a few good people to join your work staff team? Are you now hiring? Need help? Want it now? Be listed and get noticed in our awesome radio on-air classifieds. Post your now hiring job descriptions on our website and have it announced here on this radio station and get your positions filled. Sign up today at wbisawesomeradio.org or contact us by phone 252-756-3137. People are looking for jobs. Let us help you find those people. Get your now hiring, need help, wanted now announcements listed in our awesome radio on-air classifieds. Visit our website to learn more, wbisawesomeradio.org, or contact us by phone 252-756-3137.
Lord, I hope this ain't too late for me to die up in these streets. Oh Lord, can you help me?
And yes, we are back here on Awesome Radio 106.9 FM on your radio. This is Richard Taylor. I am here with my special guest on the line, Maurice Thomas, a.k.a. Trap. And you can't see the comments, Trap, so I'm going to read a couple of them to you. I do want to say...
Hey, look. Excuse me, say A.K.A. Maurice Holloway, too, because, you know, a lot of people know me about Maurice Holloway.
A.K. Maurice Holloway. Yeah, I didn't know who Maurice Thomas was, neither, but Maurice Holloway. Cloud Waters dude said he calling out all the legends. K Smith, Keith Smith says show Liz. Siobhan Taylor said and lots of family love. Felicia Mitchell says hi everyone. Sharice Boy Jackson, how you doing? We getting to the meat potatoes. Patrick Williams said hello. Alana Moore, Charmaine Newcart, Lady T, Shanice Suggs. Thank you guys all for Keisha Fussell as well. Thank you guys all for tuning in on the show. Sorry, once again, I wasn't able to get him on the camera, but we got him on the voice. So before we left, man, and I know this is a sensitive subject, so you know you can go as deep as you want to or not want to. But you know, you did talk about what happened to cause you to go to a prison. If you do want to go into that or just tell us how long did you have to do?
Okay, well, you know, it all started on the block. You know, it was a place where everybody go to get rid of their drugs, and I tried to lock it down. You know, where couldn't nobody be out there unless they were working for me for that situation. I had a girlfriend at the time that she had my back to everything. You know, everything that we did together. So if I just would have listened to her and stayed home, I think it would have never happened. But long story short, some things went wrong, some things were said, some things was lied about, and some guns were drawn.
Mm-hmm.
Make a long story short, everybody knew what happened. So I had to go lay down. I did 6 years. 6 years, 5 months and 20 days on that day for day. No word release, no nothing. Because I still had nothing. I guess I was still hard-headed towards superior. Because I was still smoking weed and getting in trouble, not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, kissing right up. So,
you talking about in jail?
So, yeah, in prison, yeah.
In prison, 6 years, 5 months, and 20 days.
6 years, 5 months, and 20 days.
Okay. So how old were you then?
I went. Matter of fact, I went to court on my birthday, on my 26th birthday. I went to court. Now I caught 18 years.
Okay.
18 years.
So that was the old law, as they say, though. So the old law, you get a lot of time cut off. So you know, because I went to prison, I think when I was 21, and I was like 12. It was they gave me 12 months, but I had never been in trouble, and I never been in prison. And I know how I felt. I did not want to go. How did you feel as a young man? You know, and dealing with the possibility of doing 18 years. How did you feel, or was it real, or did you like take it serious?
At first, I didn't. At first, I didn't take it serious because, like I said, I did time a little short skid bid in the 90s. So I really didn't take it serious. And it did, man, Rich, it didn't dawn on me till like a year in
Uh-huh.
that I really, or you don't really mess up,
Uh-huh.
you know. So I think like my second year, that's when I started, searching for help, reaching out to God or whoever I could reach out to at the time that give me some type of moral
Uh-huh.
and I guess to make sure that I'll be all right.
Mm-hmm.
You know how you go to prison, you be searching. So I was Christianity. I was into the Christianity like my second whole year. By that third year, I was Muslim. by
Yeah.
that by that fourth year, I was God.
5% of God body. Huh?
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
was from fourth year all the way till I got out. I was God body.
Okay. So
But I was a God. My enlightener was a military God body. He ain't played, but I always thought with my third eye. It got to make sense.
okay.
Even right now, it got to make sense.
All right.
So
And so
even with my Christianity, it got to make sense.
coming out of prison, what was your mind state, and what did you do coming out? Did you return back to the streets like a lot of us do, or what was your plan?
Well, my plan was that I always wanted to be coming up. I always wanted to be either a police officer or drive trucks. Because my grandparents stayed down the street from the old truck stop, and I would ride my dirt bike down there and see the big trucks. So coming up, that's what I always wanted to be. So when I caught the gun charge at 17, I know the police situation was out.
Mm-hmm.
But before I can really get into the truck thing, I started hustling. So when I was
Okay.
in prison, I said I'm gonna turn these 18 years into 18 weeks. I'm
Okay.
gonna do what I got to do to drive trucks. But when I came home, it was hard for me to get a job. Man. I mean, really, really, sure enough, get a job. I did well. I take that back. It wasn't hard for me to get a job because my first week home, I sold a record at the bakery. But I was dipping and I was dabbing
Yeah, I
to make
understand.
ends meet. You know what I mean? Once it's in you, it's in you.
Definitely.
And I was dipping and dabbing. When I came home, all the baby mamas shot at me. You know what I mean? Child support come from there, which way I had a real. They threatened to lock me up
Yeah.
and everything. And my mom just wanted me to get away from everything. She said, I just need to get away from you. And listening to her, I put in my 2 week notice at the bakery and moved to Raleigh with my brother trying to get on for the state of Raleigh. And I
Okay.
went through 3 interviews and everything, but they still didn't hire me. But
Yeah.
at that time, I had to move. You know what I mean? So I had to do what I had to do. And my uncle knew had a sports bar there. So he
Yeah.
worked. He put me to work. And you can only do so much with $8 an hour.
Yeah,
You know
I
what I mean?
understand.
Up there in Raleigh, you rent the child support coming. You know what I mean? So once again, I started dipping again. Like I told Mom, you can't even it's a corner everywhere in the
Yeah,
United States.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
There's a
yeah.
corner everywhere in the United States.
You can
And
take the hustler. I mean, you can take the hustler out the hood, but you can't take the hustler out the hustler.
yeah, that's right, that's right. So
So
you know, I messed around and caught a reefer charge in Raleigh,
okay.
and where I was at, the judge told me I couldn't go back to the sports bar. So I mean, long story short, I was like, well, I know I can get some money. I ain't got to worry about nobody. I just got to do it right this time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I came back home and got on my third pill.
Okay, okay. So how long did that last before you really decided, or what was the turning point when you said, okay, I can't do this street stuff no more, and I'm going to the trucks?
Well, maybe turn around from the streets was my daughter. My daughter was born, miracle, and me and her mom were together at the same time at that time, and I promised her that I wasn't going to leave. I was gonna always be in her life. And at
Okay.
that time, I already had three other daughters that I was trying to get to know. And they were basically about grown at the time, and I was basically, man, really, really trying to get to know them, but something always came up.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. And
we'll start calling each other, get to know each other, and something come up, and
yeah.
I get sidetracked again, and a couple of years have passed by, and everything.
So you didn't want to make that mistake with this daughter. You wanted to, you wanted to learn from those mistakes and do things the right way this time.
Yeah, yeah. So I messed around and I quit smoking weed, and I went to school, and I got my CDL, but it was really still hard for me to find a truck job because I had that charge on
You
me.
had the record.
Yeah, but it's not what you know, it's who you know. And a
Definitely.
friend of mine helped me get
Just
a
one
job at
second,
Best.
Trap. We got to take our last station break, but we're gonna be right back on the other side of the break with the rest of this story. You're listening to Awesome Radio.
Partial funding for this program is brought to you by Mitchell's Memorial Funeral Home of Winterville, 2423 E Winter Village Drive. Encourages you to plan ahead now so you will not have to think about it later. 252-702-1880 or 252-917-4420. Mitchell's, a generational name your family have trusted for years. Now it's your turn. Ask for Mr. Donovan Phillips, the funeral home manager, for pre-need arrangements. 252-702-1880 or 252-917-4420. Mitchell's Memorial Funeral Home of Winterville. Thank you for your support.
And we are back once again here on Awesome Radio 106.9 FM with the U-Turn Show. I'm your host, Richard Taylor. My special guest, Maurice Thomas, a.k.a. Maurice Holloway, a.k.a. Trap. So now I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know we're going to have to do a part 2 of this interview because there's so much that I wanted to talk to this brother about, not just his life, but his opinion on other stuff because he has a great viewpoint on a lot of things. But because I wasn't able to get him live, we're not going to be able to continue it after the radio show goes off. So hopefully he'll agree to come back next week so we can get everything set up where we'll be able to see him and hear him.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I told you, man, whenever you need me, man, just call me because I got a lot to say for with the young generations and everything.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's crazy out
there. Yeah, and we see that, man, and that's probably what we're going to focus on next time because I know like being young and of course we all were young too, and we thought we knew everything, we thought we were invincible, but becoming of age and surviving some of those same things that the young generation is enduring now, we're able to give them some guidance, some instructions, some warnings, and some idea of the consequences that they may face when living that type of lifestyle. So but we're going to finish your not finish your testimony, but we're gonna continue on to how did you finally land that truck driving job?
First of all, I just want to apologize for not having a correct phone today.
Oh no, man.
I got an iPhone 6, man. I ain't technology suave.
No, that's my fault because we should have, I should have called you earlier, and I made sure we could have got it right. But yeah, we gonna get it right for next week, bro. But yeah, so the truck driver, how did that come about?
I started out driving dump truck. A close friend, a high school friend got me on. She was like a secretary or whatever. I don't want to call her a secretary, but she was deep in Biscayne and gravel. You know what I mean?
Okay.
She's my hero now. JP, I love you. So
shout out to JP.
I
said shout out to you said JP?
Yeah, you know her.
Okay.
I don't want to call her name.
We ain't gonna call her name.
So she's my hero now. And she got me on, and I worked with her for like a year, until I, was able to move on. And I want to shout out to my cousin Mike. He the one that got me in the truck, took me out west with him, and I didn't look back.
Yeah.
He taught me the road, what to do, what not to do. Mike Shepard, who we used to play cards with.
Yep,
And,
Mike Shepard. Shout out to
I ain't look
Shep.
back. That was 2000. I got out in '99, so that was 2010 by the time I
When you
started
started.
actually driving trucks. I got my CDA in 2006.
Okay, but you
So
didn't start going over the road until 2010. And I don't know if you remember. It was a cookout at Mike's house one day, and this was probably about around that time. And I was talking to you about driving trucks. I wanted to be, I don't know if you remember that
I
when you.
remember over there on 4th Avenue, Shawnee Avenue, or whatever.
Yeah, but you was telling me all the ins and outs, and you was just so excited about. You tell me the pros and cons about it and everything like that. So, how long did you drive trucks?
Up until I was diagnosed.
All right.
I started 2010, and I was working for an owner operator, and I think I messed with him for about a good 6 months till he started paying with the money. And I came back home, and I couldn't get back out there with another company, so I went at the church at the chicken plant in Kingston until I can get back out. And basically around that time, I got married in 2007, and I wanted to better our life, so I did what I had to do, and I went back out. I went back over the road, and I didn't look back. I worked for a company out of Illinois, and I was staying out 21 days and coming home for 2.
Oh, okay. That's a
It was
long
all
time
right.
away.
That's a long time to be back home with my kids. And I did that for 2 years, and I finally, matter of fact, Mike put me on a guy, an owner operator here that got his own, got his own company right here in Goldsboro, and I started working for him. And I was coming home every weekend. I wasn't going no farther than Texas or Florida. I leave out Friday, I leave out Monday, and I'll be back home Friday. So I was home every weekend. And that was good, but until my back really started bothering me.
Okay, and yeah, you mentioned that we talked about that. You said you were diagnosed. Tell the audience, like, what were you diagnosed, and how did you come to find out about that diagnosis?
Okay, well, like I said, I was driving trucks. I just thought maybe it was me not exercising, standing in the driver's seat for too long. My back was hurting real bad, and in November of 2018, I told my wife I wasn't going back out until I really found out what was wrong with my back. I was going to my doctor and everything, and I guess they wasn't testing the blood or whatever, and it was getting bad. It was getting to the bad. The pain was getting to the point where I couldn't stand it. And I was taking Advil like they were M&Ms. One Sunday, she just got tired of me crying and complaining. She took me to the hospital. I was at that time I couldn't even walk. I had to walk with a walker. So they diagnosed me with multiple myeloma, with a bone cancer, and it was in my spine. And they kept me. I stayed in the hospital for I think about 20 days. And the doctor said I was in stage 4. And if I wouldn't have came in at the time I came in, another 3 days, I would have passed away.
And what year was that?
2009, March 2019.
March of 2019. And you're still here today, which is a blessing. How did that affect you mentally? Like, how and how did that, develop your closest of a relationship with God?
Man, laying in the bed, I was already off and on throughout the years. I always talked to the Lord, even when I was driving trucks, looking out the window, looking at His creation, seeing His work, like the mountain and stuff like that. When out west, I would talk to Him, looking at God's canvas. And at that time, I hadn't been saved and baptized twice.
Mm-hmm.
But for sinner is somebody that don't get up. We all sin, we all fall short
Yes.
of glory, but you got to get up. Man.
Yes,
That's
sir.
why I said, you know, my lowest point in time, I'm going through it right now, and until I feel the gap with me and my daughter, I'm always feel like that's the lowest point of my life. My oldest daughter, I got 3 daughters that getting ready to turn 30 this year, and until I can feel that gap with them, I'm gonna feel like I'm in the lowest part of my life. But catching this counsel, I feel like the Lord stripped me down to show me what I need to do
Mm-hmm.
to make me find my purpose. Because I wasn't really taking life. I was really taking what I was doing for granted, having fun, not being serious. You know what I mean about life.
Yes.
Even though I was married and carrying on, I was still living the life that people in the streets live.
Yes.
You know, not being faithful, not being honest.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he just knocked me off my horse, my high horse, to get my attention, and he got it. So I just pray every day that he show me what I'm here for. I know he ain't keeping me around this long to not have a purpose in life, you know. So basically, I'm just trying to find my purpose.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I'm trying to walk right.
Yeah. And we all, that's something we all have to do, man, because like you said, all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Nobody's perfect. So God, God has a way of getting our attention. But Claude Waters says much love to the big homie. And my mother Aletta Taylor says you're still here, praise God. And I think I saw a post where you were saying that you may have the last treatment of chemo.
Yeah. I got to. I apologize to everybody. I got the days wrong. It's tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm so hit trying to get on this show, man. I was tunnel vision about this show, man. I was happy and nervous and excited all at the same time. You know what I mean? Because I never been interviewed. I never gave a chance to tell my testimony. I haven't even really got into my testimony. I'm just looking at it.
That's why I said we gonna do this again next week if you're available, man. And we gonna get the we gonna get that StreamYard link, adjusted to your phone beforehand. And that once again, I apologize to my audience as well because this is something we should have.
We learn by our mistakes and we got to keep going. But I just want everybody to know, man, there is a God. So we won't. This world didn't come from nothing. You know, you call him what you want to call him, Yahweh, Allah, whatever you want to call him, man. It's a supreme being out there, man. Don't nothing come from nothing.
Yeah. And so you said just now you were at your son's football game.
You I was at his football practice. I dropped him off when I was telling him I love him and all that. He was getting out the car, took him home.
Oh, okay. So I guess that's your young that's one of your youngest children.
Yeah, that's my youngest. He's 13. So
okay. So how is that relationship with the two younger ones? I guess coming along, in regards
real
to
real good. My daughter, she's 17 now. She live with me.
Okay.
So, and my 13, I'm trying to, once I can basically find me somewhere to live. I'm with my parents right now, so basically, when I find my own, it won't be long though. I'm trying to talk his mother into letting him come live with me and try to show him how to be a man, what things to do, what not to do. Children gonna be their own, gonna make their own bed, but you got to try to guide him and lead him towards the right way. As an adult coming up as a childhood, I see. You know what I mean? This is my first time. I'm still a rookie at being a parent.
Yeah.
Like they rookies at being a kid. So I try to tell them I try to tell them what to do and what not to do, but how kids. You know what I mean? I'm trying to tell them that I was a kid at one time. Like when we was coming up, how our parents used to tell us, save $1 and do what's right. They did the same thing, And I understand that, but they were telling us to save $1, but they weren't explaining why to save $1.
Exactly.
I'm trying to teach mine about the credit situation, the 401k, the retirement plan, find something that you love to do, and that way it'll be a hobby. So I was working, but that was my hobby. It was just like I was in driving truck. It was like I wasn't working because that was something I loved to do.
Exactly, man.
And
These I
that's
don't know what's
hard
like.
to position to do it, to throw it back and do it right this time.
Yeah, yeah.
Keep my
So
insurance paid, my life insurance, my barrier insurance, and all that. People out here messing up 40, 50, $100 a day, and they ain't got no insurance, man.
yeah, and that's something that we we need to stress, especially
Yeah,
the way people are leaving us, and we don't think about those things until it happens. So and
but
especially teaching your children about the value state, because like my daughter too, like she spend money like it's her money, like she out working. I'm like, I don't spend this much money, like
yeah.
and so
They want nice things, but I'm like, Jordan got his. You don't need 10 pairs of Jordan. You want, but I know how it is. So,
yeah,
I'm
because
do
we
I
all
have to
been
work
there.
it.
You know,
Yeah,
like I said,
yeah,
I wish I could show those pictures. Like I remember those pictures of y'all in the suits and the triple fat gooses and all the chains
yeah.
and the jewelry. So
The jewelry, the silk suits, and the ballet shoes with the no socks, the $600 glasses, and with no lenses in them, diamonds in the frame. Yeah, man.
yeah,
I messed up a lot of money. If I can just get a fraction of that,
yeah, you and me both, man.
fraction of it, yeah.
So what would
If
you
I can get,
tell? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
if I get a look out of every dollar that I messed up, I'll be all right.
You'll be all right. So what would you tell, man? Because we got about 5 minutes left in the show on the radio. And but what would you tell, some of the young guys out there who are maybe going the wrong way or, possibly thinking about going the wrong way?
Streets don't love you, man. Don't take the streets before your parents. I mean, always think positive and go the right way, man. Because that hustling, that game banging, and that fast lifestyle, they call it a fast lifestyle for a reason. It's only two ways out of it, man. The penitentiary or death. I mean, look at the rappers. They going to jail now. They getting killed now. Look at the hustlers. How many hustlers, retired now and still living that lavish life.
Not many. Not many.
For two.
Yeah.
So
It's no
that
retirement. It's no retirement or
no
pension
retirement,
plan.
no retirement pension plan. And the government trying to stop all that. Well, you got to put in your own retirement. So it makes you find your job or trade. See how they took all the trades out of high school.
Yeah. Yeah.
The government got a plan for you, man, and the show ain't. It's for you to keep working for the rich.
And
The
also,
best you can do, man, find you a trade.
yeah, because you
Go
mentioned
ahead.
something that you mentioned something earlier when you was like, yeah, your mom got married, and they said, okay, well, now you can't stay in the projects no more. You gotta get out. Your father was making too much money, and so
Yeah, both of them.
that is that's something that they, in order for her to live there, she had to remain single.
Yeah. Now they moved. Actually, they moved in married. But the thing is, the project they ain't gonna let you make so much money living in the project. You know what I mean? You either pay the rent, a high rent, or you got 30 days to move out. And who's gonna pay $800, $900, $1,200 and still live in the project? That's a mortgage, man.
Yeah.
Once they find out you working, they gonna up that rent, and you might well find your nice rental house, and have your yard in the backyard, other than staying or try to build a house or buy a house with that much money.
Mm-hmm. And Siobhan Taylor
That's what.
said also, he said, you gave a lot and you helped so many. Where did you get
Yeah,
that giving heart and that helping heart from?
that's my sister, my mother, man, my mother coming over with Siobhan. That's my god sister. I love her to death. She taught me how to invest, to give and receive.
Okay.
my mother's sister, my grandmother, they always had a giving heart. You know, I come from a good family, man. My parents, you know, they'll take their shirt off their back if you need. They give you somewhere to live too, if you need somewhere to live.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I remember going over.
Where I got my kind. See, I was always mean, but I had a kind heart, man.
He said you was always mean. Yeah, like I said,
mean.
yeah.
I was mean, but I
Yeah.
had a kind heart, man.
But I never seen that. Like I said, I never seen that mean side of you. Like, you know, like I didn't meet you till you came home, probably. But you know, I just always, you know, like even we used to be at the card tables together. You know, you was always kind and, you know, always gave me good advice. You know, always kind of looked out for me, even though, you know, even sometimes I wasn't even in my right mind. You know, you always kind of, you know, give me advice to look out for.
You met this side of the penitentiary trap.
Okay.
The penitentiary trap, boy.
I'd have been food,
in the
huh?
Army, I was a captain level.
Yeah, I'd have been. Yeah. So man, it's definitely the Keisha Fussell said just really won't meant just you really won't mean you just tried to be. That's what Keisha Fussell said, man.
She was in front of the penitentiary, you know.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Yeah, because she actually
she knows she's saying.
Yeah, because she said she actually, before you even said it, she said 6 years, 5 months, and 20 days. She said that in the comments even before you told me how much time. So I guess she was riding there with you. And I don't know if you remember Mike McKenzie. Shout out to Mike McKenzie, man. He was in the neighborhood back there.
Hey man, that's my dude. Y'all
yeah,
know
he
Mike.
said Trapper always looked out for us when we were young, man. So yeah, we got about 20 seconds to go, man. I just want to thank everybody for joining in. I want to thank Trap Maurice for joining us, and hopefully we're gonna continue this interview next week if all goes well, man. We got about 10 seconds, but I want to thank everyone who listened to this interview. And you'll be back with us hopefully next week. You've been listening to Awesome Radio.
I want to thank everybody for
smile on me.